What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Y'all know what time it is. It's your boy, Kizzie in the building. And I can't wait to talk. We gonna talk about it. Now I know y'all probably looking like, man, why it's so dark and why you got this hoodie on and fatigue? Like, what's going on? Well, I did the episode last week, Family Secrets, and it was such an overwhelming response to the video, to the podcast. And I was like, man, it really sparked some conversations and, people kind of share some things. But one thing that was said that really stood out to me was, there was a person talking about being the black sheep of the family. And I was like, the black sheep. And so it made me think, and I'm like, wow, the black sheep of the family. So I posed a question. Are you the black sheep of the family? And so it made me want to do a part two to Family Secrets, because the reality of it is the family is, it makes up the identity of the world. The identity of the world started with the family. It started with Adam and Eve. It started with them having children. I know we living in a world where the idea or the facts of what the family is has been so, screwed, like being changed around and we're not identifying with this and that. And families are looking a whole lot different nowadays. But the facts say man and woman, come together, make child. That's fact. You can't change that. You can try to, science can try to come up with ways to make it look differently or try to fabricate something. But the facts are what the facts are. And that is family. That's what God designed from the beginning. He said, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. So that's husband and wife coming together, having children, teaching them and grooming them throughout their life so that they can go out and meet their mates and have children and, so forth and so on. So I, when I heard about the black sheep, I'm like, man, the black sheep of the family. So I just want to give out, well, first off, you know what? I'm going to start out with prayer because I want God to get all the praise and glory out of this episode and all my episodes. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I had to come looking different. Because when I get into the definitions of what the black sheep is, yeah, you know what I'm saying, it's different. So let me go ahead and throw this up here. Yes, sir. Black sheep. Are you the black sheep of the family? Father, I thank you right now for the opportunity. I thank you for just, being able to get before your people. And I just pray that this episode will bless somebody and that we will continue to have the conversation, because in order to bring healing, we got to start with conversation, because as conversations open things up, we're able to talk about it. We're able to hopefully reconcile and begin the healing process in our life. I truly bless each household that's tuning in, that's listening, and I pray that you will continue to watch over them, keep them, and bless them. And I ask these blessings as I step aside. I just want you to have your way. So I love you in Jesus' name, amen. So I was looking up black sheep, and this is the information that I've got, just to have a basis of where we're going. Black sheep. Now, a member of a family or group who is regarded as a disgrace to it. What does the black sheep symbolize? The black sheep has been a symbol of rebelliousness and bad luck for centuries. In many cultures, the black sheep is considered to be an outcast. Ooh. And it's often used as a metaphor for someone who doesn't fit in with the rest of society. Wow. What is an example of a black sheep? You can use the phrase black sheep when describing someone who acts differently than the expected norm. It's usually used in conjunction with family, as in he's the black sheep of the family. For example, Rachel is the black sheep of the family because she is an artist, whereas everyone else is in economics. What is the black sheep personality? Black sheep of the family is someone who is marginalized, scapegoated, misunderstood. They may particularly they may be particularly sensitive, emotionally intense, curious, and wired differently. When the family has identified a person as the black sheep, all members project unwanted negative traits onto the scapegoat. Man. And this is the last one I'm gonna use. And this is all, Google search and those types of things. Why is it called black sheep? The origin of the phrase comes from the rare presence in a flock of white sheep of a sheep with black fleece. I'm sorry. Rather than being a delightful surprise, these black sheep were a disappointment since their wool couldn't be dyed. Man, if I tell you that's a mouthful right there, when this particular person, and I'm not gonna go into who the person is, I know them, for the most part, but when they said that, it just really made me think, how does one become a black sheep of the family? And even reading that last statement about how it's a rare presence in the flock of white sheep, and rather than being a delightful surprise, like, hey, a black sheep, it's like, man, it's a disappointment because the wool couldn't be dyed. Like, what? So when I talked about in the last episode about a lie, like I believe I think that was Family Secret. Yeah, and I'm like, what is a white lie? Like who coined that phrase white lie? And so a black sheep is someone that's different in the family. Maybe they don't look like the rest of the family. Maybe they taller, maybe they shorter, maybe they a little bit more rounder, maybe they skinnier. Maybe their complexion is different. Maybe, they talk differently. Maybe they have a handicap. What is it about them that makes them different? What and this is the problem. They are born into a family now. Family that's supposed to be together. But yet the family is the one that turns their back on that one particular person. So why is that? How could one become the black sheep of the family? Is it because they don't agree with what you agree with? Is it because they they think differently? And why is it that family members come together and say, you know what? We don't like this particular person. We don't like this particular individual because they don't think like us, or they don't act like us, or they don't value our same values, or and and so that's amazing to me, because see, I was fortunate enough, and y'all might say, what, fortunate? But yeah, I was fortunate enough to be raised in a family that believed Christ. Like, as far as I go back, great grandmother, Mama Willie, You know, as far as my family go back that I know of, at least on my mom's side, it was Christ. It was all about God, you know. So I was raised in that. Now everybody don't have that story, and I understand, but that's how I was raised. You know, my great grandmother, you know, I didn't know my great grandfather, so my great grandmother, my grandparents, you know, my mom, like, yo, it was church all the time. It was Christ all the time. It all the time. And so that's all I know. But I was fortunate enough to be raised in a family that looked differently. Like everybody didn't, everybody didn't talk the same, didn't look the same. And when I say I was fortunate enough to grow up with a mentally challenged cousin and a handicapped cousin. Two of them, and they actually were brothers. And if I tell you, it helped me in life because I had the opportunity to understand that everybody is not the same. Everybody is different. You know what I'm saying? Because see, I think sometimes when you aren't raised around those type of situations, then it's like, okay, when you see it out in the world, it looked foreign to you. It's like, oh, what? You know, how you got a handicap? How you got a mentally challenged cousin, or family member? And so, because I was fortunate enough to be raised around that, it gave me a different perspective on life. And especially when it comes to family, like, hey, all of us aren't the same. All of us aren't, don't have the same makeup, and we, act the same, look the same. But one thing I learned at an early age is to not treat them any differently, not to try to, pacify them and be like, oh, well, you can't, and speaking of the one that was handicapped, that was my, my first cousin, my road dog, RIP, Chris Thomas, man. Everybody, he had a lot of different names, Little Poet, Short Dog, we call him Short Dog. Because, I mean, he was short, but he had, just a little bit about him. He had a rare bone disease where it's made his bones like weak. Kind of like the movie Unbreakable with Samuel L. Jackson, where his bones are real fragile. My cousin kind of had something like that. But growing up, we were just a year and 6 days apart, so we was always together. I think my family was trying to be cheap because they used to always have our birthdays together. I'm like, say, man, I'm my own person. Why I gotta share? But that's neither here nor there. I was too young to stand my ground and be like, hey, I want my own birthday. But I never treated him as if he had a handicap. I knew it. Yeah, of course. I mean, it was noticeable. The doctors told him he would never walk and he would be bound to a wheelchair all his life. And he defied all that. Like, man, that boy was walking, dirty, running. Now he had to wear braces on his legs and he walked with crutches. But it was nothing that boy couldn't do. But I never treated him any different. Like, I always made sure that whatever I did, he was doing. If I played basketball, he was playing basketball. If we played football, he was playing football. Now, we couldn't tackle him or do whatever, but he was included in everything. So because of that, he didn't feel outcast. He didn't feel set apart. He didn't feel like, man, like, yeah, he knew he was different, but because he was treated differently, he was able, I'm pretty sure he felt the embrace and he felt the love from, because like I said, we were first cousins, so we was together all the time. He was a year older, so, he was on this earth by himself, but he was, I think he was probably in the hospitals and stuff a lot anyway, so he didn't really know. But when we had the time to be together, man, and I mean, even all the way to our adulthood, we stayed together, all types of stuff. And so, I never treated him any different. But you got to think about it. Everybody don't have that story. So that's why I said, are you the black sheep of the family? And how did you become the black sheep? Because the reality of it is, as family, You know, when I talked about the family secrets, well, a lot of that might be, those family secrets might be the reason why you the black sheep, might be the reason why family has turned their back on you and has caused you to be outcast. Because the reality of it is, when stories are being told, but they're not the whole story, or they're not the truthful stories, and you know, so it's like it puts you into this other stratosphere, like as if you did any wrong. See, number one, this is why I don't understand how a person could become a black sheep in the family. Because number one, they didn't ask to be here. Let's just start there. They were born into a situation. So no matter how volatile that situation is, they were born into it. So how did they know that they was born to a mother who was raped by her uncle? Uh-oh, wait a minute. I know we ain't going there. Yeah, we going there. How did they know that their grandfather was a Rolling Stone, and that he had 2-3 children outside of the children he had in his marriage? How did they know that? How did they know that daddy slept with his sister? So instead of that being your mama, that's really your auntie. Oh, my God. See, we ain't talking about this stuff. We ain't discussing these matters. Why? Because they hurt. Oh yeah, there's a lot of pain, and I talked about pain. There's a lot of pain in these in these stories. There's a lot of pain in these pasts that we don't want to dig up. Why? Because it was hard enough to you know, to face the fact. See, one thing about family tragedy that happens inside these homes, they are so tragic. They're so traumatizing that instead of dealing with it, and I talked about this in a reel, I talked about how you gotta let pain have its perfect work. But they're so traumatizing that instead of dealing with it, we try to blow it off. I can't deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. Whatever. But see, the thing about being an outcast is you feel alone. And it's sad that a person being outcast for reasons that they had, and I'm not gonna say all the time. You know, maybe they are defiant. Maybe a person comes out and is just different, where they, you know, they talk differently, or they rebellion. They rebelling against everything that's being taught or everything that's being said, and you feel like you can't do nothing with them. But even then, that comes from a place. Even then, that's coming from something. You know, I had a young lady on a few weeks ago, and she talked about postpartum, and she talked about a woman's womb being traumatized. Oh my God, I need y'all to hear me. She talked about a woman's womb being traumatized. So if a woman is walking around with a traumatized womb and she's having children, what do you think that child is enduring inside of their womb? If that child is dealing or is living inside a traumatic womb, how you think they're going to come out when they're born? They're going to be traumatized. And they just a baby. They don't know what's going on. They don't know how to comprehend it. They don't understand it. But they crying uncontrollably. They shaking. They just, why? Because they mama has been holding in all this trauma, and it's been it literally is into the pores of this child, the cells, the makeup of this child. So guess what? Now they are growing. So not only was the birthing or the living inside of the mother's womb traumatic, but now they come out into a traumatic situation where you know, family is lying amongst each other, or telling, you know, continue on with these secrets, keeping things embedded and not working these things out. Because see, that's the thing. When you're trying to keep oneself, right, or when you're trying to hold something in or not say nothing, or when you're living a lie, basically, when you're living life as a lie, that does something to you. That does something to you, because now, see, there's a freedom when you can walk in your truth. The Bible says the truth shall set you free. But see, when you're living a lie, see, it's one thing to tell a lie, but when you're living a lie, oh, that's a whole nother thing. Because now we talking about weight. Now there's a heaviness that's on you. Why do you think drug dealers got to look over their shoulders? Because they can't trust nobody. Because this might be the day that the cops show up at their door. This might be the day that somebody might try to jack them for their stash. So they always looking over their shoulder. They always, you know, they don't have no peace. Because they're living in they're living in a world where there's no truth. They're living, you know, they're living a lie. Because the reality of it is, when you know, when you a dope dealer, guess what? Hey, there ain't no truth in that. The truth is, your end result is you're gonna either go to jail or you're gonna end up dead. So that's not living in freedom. See, I go to work every day, and I can live in my now, you know, it's still a dangerous job. I just seen an accident yesterday. Was, you know, truck engulfed in flames, and I truly believe that, you know, the driver was in there, and it broke my heart. I mean, I cried literally passing through it to see the destruction that had happened on both sides of the highway, because the impact that the driver had caused a wreck on the opposite side of the highway. So yeah, it's dangerous out there. So I just public service announcement, man. When it's raining, y'all, even when it's dry, but when it's raining, y'all slow down, please, just slow down. But that's, yeah. Anyway, but being that black sheep of the family, man, it is. I know it got to be a heaviness to carry. Like I said, when you that baby and you were born into that traumatic situation, you growing up in that. You growing up in that. So how did you become the black sheep? See, we don't want to talk about these things. Why? Because they hurt, and I get it. I understand. But as long as you hold that stuff in, and see, guess what? When you do that, when you are holding stuff in and not dealing with what's going on, it leads to other things. Because if I'm the black sheep of the family, or if you the black sheep of the family, what other things are you getting into to I guess not feel, you know, like what are you trying to do to take your mind off of being the outcast? Because see that it, you know, when you the outcast, it's not a good feeling. I saw basketball player Draymond Green. He said, you know, see, everybody think that he embraces being the villain. Because he have his antics out on the basketball court, and he all up in the face of people. He stepping on them. He doing all kind of things. But he said it's no fun being the villain. Like, that. Nope. Who wants to be the villain? Like, that ain't nothing good about that. He said, now I'm not gonna back down from a situation, but I don't go into something thinking like, yeah, I'm the villain. Rah, rah, rah. Like, no. No one wants to be the villain unless you truly have that type of heart. And there are those that just got that's just evil all upon it. Now, we all were born in sin and shaped in iniquity. So any of us can carry that trait of evilness and walk in it. But there are those, when the seed is bad, oh, it's just bad. And it's it'll take an act of God to really change that person's heart. So, but when you the black sheep, a lot of times you don't want to be. You want the love of your family. You want to be embraced. You want to be looked at as normal. You want to be like, man, upheld as, hey, man, we family. I love you. I got your back. So what do you do? What do you do to get your mind off of that? Are you turning to drugs? Are you turning to alcohol? Are you using sex as a way to, subside your feelings? See, we're not talking about this. People ain't on drugs just because they ain't had nothing else better to do. People ain't drinking alcohol and I'm not talking about just a nice little glass of wine. No, I'm talking about drinking. People ain't out here just sleeping with everybody just because they ain't got nothing else better to do. It comes from a place. It comes from a place. And if your family, see, this is the thing. If your family aren't embracing you, what you got to lose? And I'm pretty sure those who are black sheep in their family feel like they don't have nothing else to lose. Because mama don't want them, daddy don't want them, grandparents don't want them, cousins don't want them, aunties don't want them, uncles don't want them. So, well, what else I got? Now, I'm pretty sure that there are some family members that they're like, man, hey, man, we family, man, we love you. And that black sheep be like, man, I appreciate it. But at the end of the day, one or two out of a family of 10 or 20, the odds ain't too great. Now, that one or two might keep them from going totally left. But the reality of it is, when you feel disowned by your own family, my God, you know how traumatic that is? You know how lonely that is? That's lonely. When your family don't embrace you, when your family, cast you out, that's a lonely place to be. And you start picking up things, you start doing things. You might even change your identity. Why? Because if my family don't want me, guess what? I'll find somebody that do. I'll embrace whatever will come my way. Because I'm not wanted by my family, so I got to be wanted by somebody. I got to be wanted by a certain community. I got to be wanted by, you hear it all the time. When these young boys get into these gangs and stuff like that, and they say, man, I just wanted to be loved. I just wanted to be, a part of something. What? So you became a gang member? You know what I'm saying? So the purpose of this video is for us to continue to keep the conversation up about these family secrets. But not only that, we got to start talking. We got to get with the family members that's been left behind. Yeah. We got to get with the family members that's been left behind, that has been outcast because of choices they may have made, or because of how they dress, or because of, what sexuality they are. And when I say that, I'm talking, like I said, my family ain't perfect. I got family members that are out there. And my heart and my plea is that we can come together. I love y'all, all my family. So I don't get on here just to talk about other people and just to, hey, y'all need to do, no. It starts with me. It starts with my family. It starts with us having a conversation saying, hey, we got to get this together, because guess what? This day is going to be gone, and that's going to be another day lost. So we don't have that much time left here on this earth. We just don't. And while we sitting up here fighting amongst each other, not talking to each other, disowning each other, like what are we doing? Like, what are we proving? Because guess what? How can you raise your children when you disown one of your family members? So how do you tell your children to come together? How do you tell that your son and your daughter, your two sons and your two daughters, to love each other always and have each other back, when you don't even display love? You don't even display having someone back. Because guess what? The children see that. The children see the dysfunction. Now, of course, they're young, so they're not saying nothing, but they see it. Don't think that your stuff is all that good to where children aren't paying attention. Oh, these children paying attention. They see it all. They recognize dysfunction. But yet you telling them, hey, you got to have your brother back. Hey, you got to have your sister back. Hey, y'all got to love each other always. But yet you ain't talking to your own sibling. You ain't kicking it with your own cousin. You ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, really? That's what we doing? How we doing that? We living a lie. Because we trying to raise up another generation, trying to tell them what to do, and we ain't doing it. We need to stop that. Face your own demons. Face your own critics. Face your own truths. Rectify the situation. And guess what? If you go to your family member and say, man, I apologize for X, Y, and Z, whether they accept it or not, whether they agree with you or not, it's on you to go to them. If they don't want to accept it, then that's on them. You know what I'm saying? That, hey, but you've done your part. See, God gonna look at your heart. God gonna look at your decision. And God gonna say, well, yeah, I saw you attempted. I saw you reached out. They gonna have to answer. See, just like it go all the way back to Adam and Eve. When God was walking in the garden, he was looking for Adam and Eve. Adam, where are you? Hey, I was hiding. Well, who told you was naked? Well, that woman. Then he went to the woman. Why did you do such a thing? Well, that serpent, it was everybody passing the buck. But God dealt with him because he was like, yo, first of all, you shouldn't have listened to that woman. I told you what not to do. And you did it. All I'm saying, y'all, is that at the end of the day, we don't get to choose what families we have. We don't get to choose our mothers. We don't get to choose our fathers. We don't get to choose our grandparents. We don't get to choose our siblings. We don't get to choose our cousins. So whatever situation that you're born into, guess what? There's purpose in it. Now it's up to you to ask God what that purpose is. It's up to you to ask God to say, okay, God, you placed me here for a reason. So what is that reason? And how do I, how do I endure it? How do I go about it? How do I figure that out? And God will show you. God will lead you. He said, acknowledge him and he'll direct your path. So he'll lead you. He'll guide you. He'll give you the strength and the fortitude and the information to know what needs to be done. And for all the black sheep out there, let me say this. Even if your family has disowned you, even if they've cast you out, there's a God that loves you, that embraces you. You will always have family. You will always be loved. So don't ever think that you're unloved. Don't ever think, yeah, do you want your family to love you? Of course you do. Who doesn't? Who doesn't want their family to love them? Who doesn't want their family to embrace them? But as long as you got a God that loves you, as long as you got a Savior in Jesus Christ, that's all the love you need. I've just gone through a situation and probably going through it maybe, whereas I've seen people turn their back on me, family members, friends, and it threw me for a loop. I'm like, wow, people I've been knowing 20 years, 30 years. It don't matter. Because of the situation, they turned their back on me. But you know what? God still showed up. He still embraced me. And when I put all my trust in him, and when I realized how my Father embraced me, I said, man, he all I need. He's all I need. So that's how I can stand. That's how I can do the podcast and I can be free. Why? Because my love for my Father and the love he has for me, I'm entrenched in that. I'm bound to that. My God. So I just implore all my black sheeps out there. Yeah, you may look different. You may sound different. You may act different. You may be leading a different type of lifestyle. You might have tattoos. You might be drinking. You might be smoking. All of that. But guess what? God is right there with you. See, everybody gave Jesus, everybody get on Jesus and be like, oh, he was always hanging out with the sinners. Yeah, why? Because the sinners are the ones that need that love. The sinners are the ones that need that embrace. So he gonna be right there with them. And guess what? I'm right there with you. I'm right there with all the black sheep of the family. You did? Because we out here. And I'm not saying I'm the black sheep of the family. I'm just saying. I'm with y'all because I get it. I get being outcast. I get being pushed aside for something else, somebody else, whatever the situation may be. I get it now. Oh yeah, I understand. I know what black sheep look like. But guess what? It's okay. It's all right. Because you are loved. You are loved. And I want y'all to understand that. I want y'all to know that. So come out of that closet. Come out of that dark place, that dark situation. Come out. Come on out. It's okay. The sun's shining. Yeah. See, the enemy wants you to stay in that dark place. He wants you to be, he wants you to be hidden. He wants you to be like, I don't, no, come on now. Yeah. Come on now. Show yourself. Show your face. Show your face. But like, man, I ain't scared. What's up? Let's go. I'm out here. And I'm free. Ha! Yeah. Yeah, I'm free. What's up? I'm free. I'm free out here. No longer will I hide. No longer will I sit back. No longer will I be the outcast. I'm gonna stand in my truth. I'm gonna be bold. I'm no longer afraid. Do you love me? You don't love me? Cool. You don't embrace me? Cool. You don't like me? Cool. Because I know who I am in Christ. I know who I am with the Father. I know who guides me every day, the Holy Spirit. I'm all right with me. I love me. This is who I am. What the gang got a song say, hated to love it, the underdog's on top. Yes, sir. I'm the underdog. So you can push me aside if you want to. You can hate on me if you want to. Guess what? I'm on top. Why? Because I love me. I embrace who I am. So however that look, is there work? Is there stuff I need to work on? Of course there is. Because I'm not perfect. But what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to allow you, family, I'm not going to allow you, family, to determine my successes in life, my failures in life. I am going to be great in this earth. So these drugs, this alcohol, this sex, I'm going to put all that to the side. I no longer need that. I no longer need that to subdue the pain, because I'm going to embrace the pain. I'm going to embrace the pain, and I'm going to say, you know what? Yeah, it hurts. Yeah, my family don't like me. Yeah, my family, they don't embrace who I am. But you know what? I truly believe that there's a better way. I truly believe and understand that in order for me to be free, I forgive you. See, black sheep. I'm talking to my black sheep who's out here. Forgive them. In the Bible, it say, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Forgive your family. And this is my final word. Forgive your family. Maybe they didn't know how to embrace you. Maybe because of the secrets, they didn't know how to articulate the words. Because see, sometimes pride sets in. And they just don't know how to say, I'm sorry. They just don't know how to apologize. They just don't know how to, be like, So forgive them. Like, you know what? I forgive you for not embracing me. I forgive you for pushing me aside. I forgive you for pushing me out, because it made me stronger. See, there's a story in the Bible about Joseph. Was it Joseph? Yeah. Joseph, yeah. His own brothers. Joseph was a black sheep. But you know what? You know what, Joseph, even though he was the black sheep of the family, and his brothers cast him out, sold him into slavery, got rid of him because of jealousy, God took care of Joseph. Oh, man. Hey, I need y'all to look that up. I don't even have it in front of me, the exact scriptures and chapter. But like I tell y'all all the time, study to show yourself approved. You know what I'm saying? Look it up. The story of Joseph. And I'm talking about Joseph. He was one of I think he had 12 brothers or 11 other brothers. But he was one of the youngest ones. But God blessed him to the point to where he was able to take care of his own family. The family that outcasted him, the family that pushed him to the side, the family that kicked him out because of their own jealousies, because of their own insecurities. He was put in position. He was put in position to have authority and dominion, where they had to go to him for survival. They had to go to him out of all people, out of all the people in the world, in their community, in their area. They had to go to him. The brother that they thought was dead, they had to go to him for provision. But you know what he did? He could have been like, yeah. The underdog on top. Yeah. Uh-huh. What? Oh, y'all need something now? Oh, y'all need something? Go find somebody else, because I can't help you. No. See, this is Jesus. When God does something for you, even though it look bad, even though it don't even seem like it should be the way. That's why I say you gotta forgive him, because see, God not only blessed this man to have dominion and to be over this whole nation, to where he was the provider. But God showed him about being humble, and to, he really gave him, like he showed him, like, the reason why. Yeah, what they did was wrong. Yeah, being an outcast was bad. Yeah, I know you didn't like it, but guess what? It made you stronger. See, we look at being an outcast as a negative thing, but see, we're gaining strength in other areas. We're learning how to be independent. We're learning how to be strong. We're learning how to deal with people. And because of that, Joseph was able to embrace his family. Even though they did him wrong, he didn't do them wrong. He took care of his family. And he didn't throw it up in their face. He didn't make them feel bad. He just said, you know what, I forgive y'all. Because it wasn't about y'all, it was about me. Because God had to make a man out of me. God had to mold and shape me. It was never about y'all. So that's what I'm saying to my black sheepers out there. It ain't about your family. It ain't about them. Could they be wrong? Yeah. We can blame them. We talk about it. Oh, man, it wasn't for you. But you got to look at it through God's eyes. God, what are you telling me? What are you saying about me? What are you showing me? Because I'm telling you, God is trying to make you stronger. God is trying to get you to another level. And maybe your family will need you, maybe they won't. But it's not about them. Because the world needs you. The world needs you to be whole. The world needs you to be perfected. The world needs you to be, to love yourself, so that you can add value to this earth. Because regardless if your family needs you or not, there are people that need you out here. I had a conversation yesterday, and the words that was said to me was, keep doing what you're doing, because we need you. We need that. And I was just like, Jesus. So regardless of who rejects you, regardless of who casts you aside, regardless of you being the black sheep, just know that there's a purpose that God has for your life. There's a purpose that he has for you. And when you embrace that purpose, trust and believe, your life will never be the same. Hey, It's your boy, Dom Kizzie in the building. Oh, I feel so elated, my God, because he's doing a mighty work. Matter of fact, we started out in the darkness. Oh, but we gonna shine. Yeah, we gonna shine up in here. No longer hiding in the darkness, no longer hiding behind pain, no longer hiding. We coming out to the light because we shine bright around here. That's what we do. Children of God, we shine bright. We shine in the midst of darkness. You dig? We ain't playing. We ain't playing with the enemy. We ain't playing with none of that. We gonna shine around here, man. That's what we do. Because we can't wait to talk, and we gonna talk about it. Huh? Man, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Stay tuned for all the episodes that's coming, because we coming with nothing but fire. Because it's like fire shut up in my bones. And we coming to a home near you. A phone near you. A tablet near you. A TV near you. We coming. Coach Prime, where you at, baby? We coming. God, Jesus, Holy Spirit, me, we in this thing. We coming. You did. Man, much love. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Weight consume me. Don't let weight consume you. Let it fuel you. Can't wait to talk. We gonna talk about it. Love y'all. Respect y'all. Black sheeps. We ain't stopped. Let's go. Let's get it. Because I am who I am. So, you know what I'm saying? I got to do what I do, man.
Do what you do.
But it's going down. Really.